And just like that, we are back, baby. Y'all didn't know it, now you know. So strap in, buckle up your doggone seatbelts, and watch your boy do his doggone thing. Is all I'm trying to tell you. I ain't trying to say I told you, but I'm say I told you. I ain't trying to say I told you, but I'm trying to say I told you so. Fat Even is in the doggone building. Y'all know what to do when coming in this chat. Make sure you let me know where you coming from, where you watching that, and what it do. You figure deal me? Because we most definitely finna get it popping. Because today is the day that God has made, and we are in this mug, and we are not in the shade. You know what I'm talking about? Any day above ground is a good day, and it's always good to be blessed. You know what I'm talking about? As you see on a lot of people tags rolling around town, you might see some random tag that says, too blessed to be stressed. And that, my friends, is what we are right now. Holla if you hear me. If you're walking in, sit down, get yourself something to eat, because it's going to be a day. I didn't get to watch G. Bush this morning. I missed my boy live, so I'll get to watch it later on tonight when I'm heading to Houston, which makes for good traveling. You know, I get to listen to my boy talk his talk. So I will save that for when we start traveling. As the people start to gather in, as y'all start to contribute into this place, make sure you say what's up. But y'all know how we do before we get this thing started. Before we even pop this thing off, y'all know what we got to do. We got to shout out you, the viewer, for taking the time out to watch this video. But while you're here, make sure you do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and do not forget to leave your comments down in the comment section. And if you see one of these in our chat room or in the comment section, a see you auntie or an internet auntie in the chat or in the comment section, make sure you holler at them, say what's up. But most of all, be respectful. Because if you're not respectful, we going to have to go get security. Oh, yeah, the aunties got security. They ain't even playing with you. So you better tighten up. You know what I'm talking about? So when you see one of them in the chat, make sure you say what's up and keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Keep it G. Because that's how we get down. And today is what? The 9th day of training camp. And as it is understood, Shedeur got no reps today, out for arm soreness. And it is what it is. But we are gathered at the lunch table today to eat a little bit and talk a little bit. So sit back, get your juice box or whatever you brought, and let's have a good time. Welcome to the lunch table. As we proceed to give you what you need, it is day 9 of training camp, and Shedeur Sanders took no reps today. But that's not why we're here. We're here to walk this thing backwards. We're here to get another perspective. We're here to take another gander, another look at this Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders fiasco that Cleveland has created. And we're trying to see, we want to take a different look at it. We want to look at it from the perspective of Shedeur Sanders not getting reps, but we want to look at it as Dillon Gabriel getting all the chances he deserves to screw it up. Because we've only looked at it from one way. We've only paid attention to this fiasco from one dynamic tape. And that's, they're not giving Shedeur Sanders what we think he should have. Now, taking a gander at it from that perspective, it kind of looks a little different. It kind of seems a little different. It kind of smells a little different. We kind of walk it off a little bit different than we would normally do. Because if you look at it from the perspective of Dillon getting more than enough reps, because that's your third round pick. That is their third round pick. Y'all coming in the chat, make sure you shout out where you're from. And y'all, as we know, super chats will be taken care of along the show and mostly toward the end of the show. But feel free, have your way. And those that are on Facebook, y'all do what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is when looking at how this has turned out. Because we've been looking at it from the perspective of Shedeur not getting enough reps. In rookie minicamp, we saw that Shedeur didn't get what he needed, as far as those were the only two quarterbacks in rookie camp. Come OTAs and minicamp, Dillon got the bulk of the reps. And the people were upset. The people are still upset. Don't get it twisted. The people are mad because we understand that Shedeur is a better quarterback than Dillon. We're not saying that Dillon is not a good quarterback. We're not preaching that Shedeur is better than Dillon. Well, yeah, we're saying that. But we're not trying to diminish Dillon to make Shedeur a better quarterback. We process information differently. Dillon is a smaller quarterback than Shedeur. That's his problem. That's nothing he can fix. His height deficiency is natural. That comes with Dillon. True. But and Shedeur can't help that he's 6'2". It's not his fault. Right? But what is probable that Shedeur is a better passer of the ball than Dillon. Shedeur is a better reader of the defense than Dillon. All this is obvious. You can't keep trying to piss on our head and tell us it's raining when our eyes see completely different. But to look at it from the perspective of they are giving Dillon plenty of chances because he's their guy. And we can't argue the fact that he's their guy. They picked him in the third round, right? So we're going with this argument that he's their guy because he was picked 50 picks in front of Shedeur. So continuing with that theme, that Dillon is Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry's guy. That's their man, 100 grand. You know, that's they do. So if we look at it from that perspective, Dillon is getting chance after chance after chance to prove that he is worthy of being the backup quarterback or the starting quarterback. One of the two. Dillon is getting the chance to prove all of that, right? Dillon is getting that chance. I need to put these on. Dillon is getting a chance to prove that he is the backup quarterback or the starting quarterback, right? He's getting a chance to prove all of that. And so far in that effort, we haven't seen it. But the Browns' excuse is that Shedeur needs to catch up. The narrative that they put out is Shedeur is having a problem understanding the playbook. Shedeur is having a problem understanding the terminology. Shedeur is having a problem calling plays in the huddle. Those are the narratives that they've gone with. Okay, so we'll take those narratives, right? We'll take those narratives. But my point is, if Dillon is better at processing information, if Dillon is better at calling plays in the huddle, if Dillon is better at reading the defense, then why does everything on the field say different? Mind you, Dillon has only had one or two good days since rookie minicamp, not since voluntary OTAs, since mandatory OTAs, since training camp, all that. Since rookie camp, Dillon has only had one or two good days. Because they're giving Dillon every chance to prove that he is a starter, that he can do all the things that a starting quarterback can do in the NFL. Read defenses, see over the offensive line, throw in the right passing lanes, not get passes blocked down, don't throw interceptions, and complete a hefty percentages of your passes. To that I say Dillon has done none of that. Even with the quarterback tracker, Shedeur outperforms Dillon every day. Shedeur hasn't thrown but one interception through all of this. Dillon has about 5. Shedeur is completing 70% of his passes continually, what he has done from college. He's completing passes at that same rate, while Dillon is getting worse. But yet and still, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry keep sticking Dillon Gabriel out there, keeps giving him the first team reps, keep giving him more reps than Shedeur. But this is what they have to do to say that they've given it their all. Also, to try and say, listen to me now, to try and say that they slow walked Shedeur, that they was helping his progression come along, that they were helping him learn the playbook, that they were helping him learn the terminology, that they were working with him to get better on all the things that he needed help on, which we know is none, right? Here's how you blow that narrative out the water that Shedeur Sanders won't be able to call plays, can't read the offense, can't use the terminology correctly. For one, calling the plays are simple, especially in live action. You want to know why that is so easy for him to do? Because because the offensive coordinator will call the play into Shedeur's helmet, and Shedeur will repeat the play in the huddle. And if there is any more assistance needed, Shedeur can put on a wristband. Therefore, he gets to look at the plays when he calls them. So that narrative is out the window for me. Oh, you can't even, my damn chair keeps falling. You can't even tell me about that narrative at this point because it makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That narrative is stupid when you try to bring it. When Shedeur can't call the plays, he can't speak the terminology correctly, because in his helmet, the offensive coordinator will call the play and Shedeur will simply repeat after him. And if that's necessary, he can wear a wristband. He wouldn't be the first NFL quarterback you've seen with a wristband on. And after they call the play on their way to the line, they flip that wristband up. They look to see what the play is. They look to see who's running what route, the Z, the Y, the X. And then we go with it. So that narrative is over and done with. You can't. Now, to the ones that are having a blast like Tony Grossi and Mary Kay Cabot, like Shedeur is, hold on, let's run Dillon's red zone today. I want to see something. This is Dillon Gabriel's red zone plays today. In this second play, just watch Dillon Gabriel. Watch his head. This is why Dillon Gabriel is not a good quarterback. And he does it a lot and often. During this play, Dillon Gabriel will look at one player and one player only. And this is what's going to lead to a lot of picks. Head does not move at all, period. No progression, no nothing. Just going to get pick after pick after pick. It's a constant with Dillon Gabriel. I wouldn't lie to you. It is a constant with Dillon Gabriel. That head doesn't move. He just continuously does the right thing. This is yesterday of Dillon Gabriel's passes. Got that man head. That's a hospital ball right there. He ain't got that man toe up. But while we're talking about Dillon Gabriel and his recklessness of going 3 for 14 on yesterday and having a bad day, the narrative is Dillon Gabriel is far ahead of Shedeur Sanders, and we want to know why and how and who keep telling this lie, because it is a complete and utter lie that Dillon Gabriel is far ahead of Shedeur Sanders. For all that we've seen, for all that we watch over and over and over again with these two quarterbacks, we understand that Dillon Gabriel is not it. We understand that Shedeur is poised and stacked right for this offense. Shedeur Sanders ran almost this exact offense his last year of college. Pat Schumer and Stefanski are one and the same. Stefanski took his offense from Pat Schumer's offense. Shedeur just couldn't run the ball as much at Colorado because they had no O-line. Those are facts. You can't argue with that. But where we stand today with Shedeur completely playing better than every quarterback that has played, that is in that quarterback room. Shedeur is far and above better than all other three of those guys. There is no freaking doubt in our mind that Shedeur is 10 times better than Dillon Gabriel, 12 times better than Kenny Pickett, and maybe 4 times better than Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, you don't worry about Joe Flacco. He the old man in the room. He got all the coverage in the world. He is safe. But those other two, Dillon Gabriel could be back up. But as far as Shedeur goes, he has to be quarterback one. But now let's reach back into Tony Grossi and Mary Kay Cabot, because they are back again, spouting the same mega nonsense that Dillon Gabriel is far ahead of Shedeur Sanders and he has a long way to catch up. If this is what you call needing to catch up, then I need everybody else to switch over to Shedeur Sanders' playbook, because Shedeur has done what's necessary to win this job. We're not going to fight about it. We're not going to argue about it. We're not going to say that this competition is fair, because we know it's not. Even though Kevin Stefanski told us to our face that we will have an open and fair quarterback competition. Quarterback competition can't be fair if Dillon Gabriel is getting reps with the ones and Shedeur Sanders hasn't had reps with the ones. Mind you, Dillon Gabriel has had reps with the ones since OTAs. He started taking reps then. We're going to be, when camp opens back up on Monday, day 10, Shedeur Sanders will not have taken a rep with the ones. Yes, he would have played against the first team defense, but yet and still, he would not have taken a rep with the first team offense. First team defense and first team offense are two different stories. He is not throwing to Jerry Jeudy and Njoku. Yeah, Myles Garrett was rushing off the edge, but hell, he got 3 plays against the first team defense, and he completed 2 out of 3 passes. Better than Dillon Gabriel, 13 or 14 in the same day against first and second team. But no matter where Shedeur is at, no matter which team he's playing with, first team, second team, third team, fourth team, everybody gets better. And the motto in the NFL is best man plays. That's not the case with the Cleveland Browns. Because if the best man plays, then Shedeur Sanders is your clear-cut number 1 QB1 going into this season. And I'm all for Shedeur not starting game 1 or 2 or 3. 4 and up, yes. But if this is a fair competition, which is not, if everybody's getting the same opportunities, which they're not, then regardless of what, Shedeur Sanders is the best man for the job. But this is just like Colorado. Everybody keeps telling me, well, Shedeur Sanders played, Dillon Gabriel played 6 years in college. And what did he do with those 6 years? Oh, he played in so many different offenses. Did he really? Dillon Gabriel played in 2 different offenses in college. But see, that's the problem. None of them did their research. Dillon Gabriel played at UCF. Then he transferred to Oklahoma. The same offensive coordinator he had at UCF, he had at Oklahoma. Then he went to Oregon. So that sounds like 3 different offenses to me. Shedeur had 4 different offensive coordinators in college, a different offensive coordinator each year. So who had the most difficult task? It keeps telling me that Dillon Gabriel was so much better than Shedeur in college. And I tell him, show it to me. Where did you find that Dillon Gabriel was better than Shedeur in college? He was only passed for 4,000 more yards than Shedeur. He only ran for like 12 more touchdowns than Shedeur. His passing percentage wasn't better. He didn't throw for more touchdowns. So what did what did Dillon Gabriel do in those 6 years in college that Shedeur didn't do in his 4 years in college? Somebody help me out. The CU1T's in the building. I'm going to need for y'all to help me out. But the problem is they don't want to count Shedeur's Jackson State years. And nobody's paying that any attention. They only count the Colorado years. They only count those 2 years. He was 2-8. He was 4-8 in his first season, 9-4 in his second season. Those are the seasons that count. But mind you, Dillon Gabriel has passed for the most touchdowns in college history. Shedeur Sanders has the best completion percentage in college football history. So who's better? The one with the most passes, most touchdown passes, or the one that completed more passes every freaking year? See, that's what y'all need to give them when they give y'all these arguments about who's the best quarterback or who did what in what year. Because at this point, college don't even matter. What is Dillon Gabriel doing on this NFL field? How is he proving to anybody that he is better than his counterparts? It's not by his play, because Shedeur completion percentage is better than he is on the field. He's completing more passes. He's throwing more touchdowns. He's throwing less interceptions. So once again, give me your argument. Tell me where he's better at. Nobody knows. Nobody can give you that. Their argument is that Dillon was drafted in the 3rd round and Shedeur was drafted in the 5th. That argument doesn't fly anymore because the pads are on. And we only care about what happens on the field. This is where we are now. Whatever was done in college is done and over with. What matters is what happens on the field every freaking practice. But now all of a sudden practice doesn't count. How did we get there? Practice doesn't count. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. How does practice not count? Practice counted when Dillon had those good days. But when Shedeur is out there going 9 for 9, Oh, he's just throwing to the third team. But they throwing to the first team. And they can't complete 9 passes. And you got more attempts. And you still didn't complete 9 passes. You still didn't throw for 3 touchdowns. So once again, what's your argument? Your argument dies every time you bring up Shedeur in the 5th round. Every time you bring up Dillon Gabriel's college achievements. We have nothing to talk about. Now, I missed G. Bush this morning. I assumed he was cooking because that's what the brother does. Now, I was talking to one of my NFL partners this morning. And he told me, he said, Snacks, it's a process to this. Now, yeah, Shedeur's not getting what he needs right now. But just you wait. Give him a little time. Because they might just be trying to see what Dillon can do. And let Dillon lose his own job. Because then they can say, well, we gave you every opportunity to prove that you were better, that you were deserving, that you earned it, that you were worthy. And you blew it. So now it's his turn. Just like he waited on you, now you got to watch him shine. But once Shedeur gets that opportunity, like I told you, once he touches the field, nobody else is allowed. You can't play with God's child. You can't play with a man who wears his faith on his sleeve. You can't play with a human that does no wrong, that does whatever he can do for the betterment of his team and the people around him. And every chance you get, you try to hide him off the field, off camera. Like I told y'all, Shedeur Sanders has played, taking snaps with the first team. They just didn't want us to see it. But next week, hopefully, next week, it all bears fruit. And that preseason game, oh boy, that preseason game. This is when we're not talking about none of that other stuff. See, once we get through this week, because Monday is a practice day, Tuesday will probably be a travel day, Wednesday will be a practice day, Thursday will be a practice day, Friday is a game day. So then what? The question is, will he get a quarter? Will he get a half? Or will he not play at all? Because they will try to hide him in the preseason. Don't get it twisted. They haven't stopped trying to humble him because all other tries have failed. Like I said, they tried to humble him and they made him more popular. They tried to make him play the background and he got more popular. Every attempt that they tried has failed. So the next attempt is in the preseason because we still ain't got no reps with the ones. So what's next? Somebody tell me what's next. I ain't even checked in the chat. Y'all in the chat, y'all say what's up. I don't see no super chats, so we ain't got to worry about them. All I'm telling y'all is the same thing. This has been my premise since this draft happened. Since they tried to say that he slid in the draft, and we all know he didn't slide in the draft. And you can't tell me there wasn't no collusion. You can't tell me collusion is not possible. You can't tell me that these owners will not get together and do what they got to do to keep one player from playing. Because if you tell me I'm lying, I'm going to ask you then why Colin Kaepernick has never played in the NFL again. Start there and work your way up. There can be collusion. There has been collusion, and there will continue to be collusion. The NFL is an owners league, not a players league. The NFL owners going to make money regardless if the league plays or not. They keep saying they can't guarantee these players contracts. They don't want to. When the league, each team makes an ridiculous amount of money every week. You know how many millions of dollars they make at one football game? One. I'm not talking all 18. I'm just talking one. One football game on a Sunday. And depending on if it's a primetime game, it might cost you more. A Monday night football game costs more to go to than a Sunday morning football game. A Thursday night football game costs more to go to than a regular Sunday football game. Depending on the state, the stadium, ticket prices are ridiculous. Food prices are ridiculous. It might cost you $100 plus to park. $12, $16 for a beer. $20 for a hot dog hamburger. It gets rough out here. So you can't tell me the owners are losing money. Just like people keep trying to say the WNBA is losing money. No, they're not. You don't expand when you're losing money. The WNBA is fixing to expand with 3 more teams. People don't buy into a losing project. Billionaires don't enter to lose money. I keep telling people, y'all are crazy. Y'all think that they keep telling you they losing money because they get to write it off. They not losing money. You don't expand when you losing money. You don't stay in business for 30 plus years and you losing money. Don't work like that. Billionaires don't go into business to lose money. They're not losing money, people. Don't let these people fool y'all. It is not that real. So what's next for the Cleveland Browns? How are they going to rectify this situation? There's only 2 ways. You play Shedeur or you don't play Shedeur. If you don't play him, all hell is going to break loose. The local media and the national media is going to berate you. Cleveland has a reputation for being bad owners and running this business poorly. Jimmy Haslam has a reputation of sticking his nose in the football operations. But yet and still, he wants to try to make us believe that he had nothing to do with this Shedeur trade. The Shedeur trade and giving away 2 6-round picks to draft Shedeur in the 5th round. He wants you to believe that he had nothing to do with that. Nobody believes him. But that's to keep them NFL investigations down. But we all know where that call came from. Because it made no sense for Andrew Berry to draft Shedeur Sanders when he already had Dillon Gabriel, knowing that Shedeur was better than Dillon. They know. They knew. They have seen Shedeur a numerous amount of times during the draft process. 5 to be exact. 5 different times they visited Shedeur. 3 different times they watched him work out. Each time they had lunch and dinner with him. So they knew who Shedeur was, top to bottom, front to back. They knew what he brought to the table. They knew how his fan base was going to be. They knew that Bucky needed credentials to come film. They knew all of that. Bucky hasn't been to Cleveland because Shedeur hasn't gotten the job yet. Once Shedeur gets the job, Bucky will be the only first thing smoking to Cleveland or send somebody there to record. This is Shedeur is Cleveland's cash cow right now. Shedeur is making Cleveland so much money, not just with merchandise sales. With all of this social media activity, with all of these clicks and impressions, Cleveland gets to sell more ads against their name on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. Because everything is monetized. You find me a 5th round draft pick that is on their team website in this manner. Find me a 5th round draft pick that has their stuff on the team website in that manner. Where's Dillon Gabriel? He's the 3rd round draft pick. Dillon Gabriel was drafted before Shedeur, yet still he's not featured on nothing. Nothing. He's not featured on anything. I have scoured the Browns website, and Dillon Gabriel is not a feature anywhere on it. Yeah, you'll find him in some photos, but as far as merchandise and advertisement, there is no Dillon Gabriel. All you got is this guy. He all over everything. But they got a bigger investment in Dillon Gabriel. Let them tell it. But Shedeur Sanders is filling your coffers. Every time the Browns are mentioned, they don't have to be tagged. They have to be mentioned. They can show it and say, look, we went from this. We went from being mentioned maybe 1,000 times in a week to 200,000 times in a week. Because every day, the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders are mentioned over and over. When Shedeur is trending, the Browns reap the benefit. When YouTube videos go up for Shedeur, or we talk about Shedeur, or we talk about Cleveland, that benefits the Browns. because they get to say, look, these are the videos mentioning our quarterback, mentioning our team. This is what we got. And they get to sell off that. You want to advertise on our site. You want to advertise on our Twitter, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our YouTube, our Blue Sky. You want to advertise on our TikTok and all of those places because our views, our mentions are off the chain. Yes, that's how social media works. That's why they'll post 100 videos and 100 pictures a day, because that's money. All those views are money. It's just not for your entertainment. It's just not for your visual pleasure. All that shit is calculated into dollars. I ain't gonna even say nothing about it. I just looked over at the chat and saw that Echo.media. Shedeur benefits as well. He owns his name, image, and likeness, Prime Equity. Dude, listen to me. Prime Equity is not real. Hear me and hear me loudly. That Prime Equity crap you hearing on YouTube and TikTok, that's money man. He made that up. That is not real. That is not in Shedeur's contract. That is a fabrication by Money Man. That is his thoughts. That's a concept. That is not real. Understand that. And we got a super chat. Chantel Penton said it was practice today. Shedeur set out with arm soreness. He will practice Monday. He signed lots of autographs. Fans were chanting for 12. Yeah. Shedeur is that boy. Shedeur is the most famous Brown there is right now. Shedeur is more famous than Myles Garrett. Is all I'm saying. When your 5th round draft pick has merchandise in your merch shop and your best player doesn't, that says a lot. That says a hell of a lot. When you got in your merch shop 2 jerseys of your 5th round draft pick. When your merch shop looks like this, and you see that 12, both of them, you see that 95, which is Myles Garrett's jersey. He doesn't have a home and away jersey in their merch shop. Shedeur has a home and away jersey in their merch shop, but he's the 5th round draft pick. Jerry Jeudy has 1 jersey in that merch shop that they're selling to their fans at these doggone training camp practices where they can visit. But this is your 5th round draft pick. What up, Sadie? What up? This is your 5th round draft pick. No other 5th round draft pick in the NFL has their jerseys front and center in any team merch shop in the NFL. Dillon Gabriel is not up here. And he's the 3rd round draft pick. That's 3, 12, 12, 85, 95. 85 is in Njoku. Where's Dillon Gabriel's jersey? Where's that number 5 jersey? But that's their boy. That's their quarterback. That's the one they invested in. That's the one they want to start. But where's his freaking jersey in this merch shop? Where's Dillon Gabriel featured at on their website? Their third round draft pick, the one they love. Where's Kenny Pickett? Where's Joe Flacco? We talking about a 5th round draft pick. Where are all these things at that they bring to the table? That's Shedeur Sanders up there front and center. Home jersey and an away jersey. Nobody else has that in that merch shop. But that's your 5th round draft pick. 95, that is your highest paid player on your team. 40 mil plus a year. He ain't got but one jersey in there. But you like Dillon more than you like Shedeur. Yeah, on the field. And that's even false. Because he hasn't proven himself to be better than Shedeur on the field. So once again, this is today's numbers. Flacco 11 for 18. Gabriel 11 for 22. Both with 1 touchdown. But this is yesterday. But this is yesterday. Flacco 9 for 13. Kenny Pickett out. Dillon Gabriel 3 for 14. 21%. Shedeur Sanders 7 for 10. 70% completion rate once again. If this man keeps throwing at a 70% clip and you keep trying to tell me he needs to catch up with Dillon Gabriel, I'll be wanting to smack some of y'all in the face because y'all be lying. Just be lying for no reason. There's no way that you can prove to me on film that Dillon Gabriel is better than Shedeur Sanders. Show it to me. Let me see it. You can't show it to me because it hasn't happened. Since they have been at the Cleveland Browns, there is no way on no practice day can you tell me that Dillon was better than Shedeur. Even when Shedeur went 3 for 8 that one day, Dillon wasn't that much better. And he had a pick. So somebody tell me where I'm wrong. I know, because I'm not. You can't tell me. We got no more super chats. Cool, that'll work. You can't tell me I'm wrong. You can't tell me that working backwards with Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, that Dillon is a better quarterback. There is no proof of that. There is no evidence of that. There is no metric of numbers that say that. There's no film that says that. Since they've arrived in Cleveland, in Berea, there's nothing that says Dillon Gabriel is better than Shedeur Sanders. On or off the field. Because even off the field, he's shown up in the community over and over and over again. No other player is doing that. All we saying is Kevin Stefanski said this is going to be an open competition. and we're going to let it play out on the field. So where are the reps with the ones? And the Cleveland media don't understand why Shedeur fans are upset. Because you said that this was an open contest. This was going to be a fair shake. But if it's fair, then when Dillon get 5 reps with the ones, Shedeur need 5 reps with the ones. When Dillon get 3 reps with the ones, Shedeur need 3 reps with the ones. If it's an open and fair competition. Everybody keeps telling you there ain't enough reps. There's enough reps. There are plenty of reps. Everybody just wants to do stuff the old-fashioned way. You're not supposed to get reps because you're a 5th-string quarterback. Well, that's baloney because he's not your normal 5th-round draft pick. He's an NFL-produced 5th-round draft pick. He's not a 5th-round draft pick because he can't play, because he was mediocre in college, or because he got in trouble all the time. Those are not the reasons why he's a 5th-round draft pick. He's a 5th-round draft pick because you didn't like his father, because you wanted to punish his father through his son, because you wanted his son to be humble and learn how to be an NFL player and to make him understand that this is our league. We can do the hell we want to do. This is not earned on merit. This is not a meritocracy as they claim it to be. Nobody in the Cleveland Browns front office is fighting for Shedeur. Shedeur is fighting the enemy every step of the way. It's an uphill battle. Like Louis Riddick said, the man is skating uphill. And they throwing snowballs at him on the way up. Every obstacle for him not to succeed has been put before him. But the good Lord has said, oh no, not my son. He will not be denied to wear this crown. You think big baby Jesus ain't gonna stand 10 toes down? Y'all crazy. Dillon Gabriel has shown to be too small to be an NFL quarterback. It's not that he can't throw the ball. It's not that he can't find the open receiver. He just can't see them. And when he sees them, it's hard to get to them, or it's hard to complete the pass because he has to throw over 6'7", 6'6", 6'8" NFL linemen. Unless he drops back 5 feet in the pocket, it ain't gonna come out right. He can't play under center. And in Kevin Stefanski's offense, a lot of it is played under center. Dillon was good in college because of that shotgun. When they did the all shotgun day, Dillon Gabriel was good. He completed over 70% of his passes that day, or right at 70. But once you get him under center, once you get him to run that play action, I showed you those reps. Dillon Gabriel would have been sacked 3-4 times in those reps. We're going to have to send Dillon Gabriel to another league because the NFL is not it. But we're all in. We done the doggone thing. We ain't got no more super chats. Val, if Shedeur needs rest, then take the rest. It's obvious Shedeur is better, but they are determined to make Dillon look good, but he's not working out well. Yes, like I told you, they are determined to put Dillon Gabriel out there, but it ain't working. Al Smith, Dillon Gabriel good for the USFL or the CFL, dog. Don't play. XFL, Amber. Gabriel is good for volleyball, serves, getting knocked down. Y'all ain't right, man. Y'all ain't right. Shasky. That boy Shy, he only be decent with a good team. Man. Keith Murray and Bryce Young. Kyler Murray and Bryce Young. He ain't that good because he don't have the feet. He don't have the wheels to be that good. What makes Dillon, Kyler Murray, and Bryce Young that good, they know how to get out of trouble. They're fast enough to get themselves out of trouble, and that's not Dillon Gabriel. He's not that athletic. He don't have that type of speed. You got to be young, gifted, and black to do all that. No, keep Stefanski out of politics. That's what the problem is. It's too late for that. This is all NFL politics. Dillon Gabriel is their man. They on the third round. He the third round pick. And that's why he's getting all these reps. And the Stefanski has to prove, him and his GM, they have to prove that Dillon Gabriel is their pick. That's their man, and they have to be right. Because if that fifth round pick is better than that third round pick, you tell me, who looks like an idiot? Who looks like they wasted a pick? Andrew Berry wasted a third round pick on Dillon Gabriel. And that's Cleveland's biggest problem. They're not planning for the future. Al, I'm in agreement. Amber, if DG gets sacked by an NFL lineman, he's going to be out of the game. Man, he's not close to Kyler Murray or Bryce Young. Tell him, Franklin. Or be Doug Flutie. He can't even be Doug Flutie, dog. Doug Flutie was athletic. He can't be Doug Flutie. Dillon Gabriel was a 7th round pick at best. And they gave Miles a whole day off to give Dillon a break. Get his stats up, and he still fell below 50%. They can give Miles 3 days off. Dillon is too small and too slow to run an NFL offense. If you watch those videos, just go back and watch the videos and see how many times Dillon Gabriel would have been sacked. Wasted a 3rd round pick. Yes. Kyler Murray and Bryce Young both been injured too. Yeah, but they still start. Should have kept Travis Hunter pick. Man, look. Not close to Doug Flutie. Man, look. That Travis Hunter pick. That let me know right there that Cleveland wasn't serious about winning. But you could have got Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders in the same draft, in the same first round, and been money. Why would you not want to keep them two together? For a minute, I thought the Jags was going to come and get Shedeur. But they didn't want to blow up their quarterback, especially after they just gave him all that money. He can't be what they want him to be. No, he can't. Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski will be on the hot seat if Shedeur is not starting by game 3 or 4. Their jobs will be in jeopardy because at that point, what are you waiting on to pull the trigger? Because they've already determined the fact that they're not going to win. They're not going to the playoffs. They've already given up on the season before it even starts. They're already searching for players in next year's draft. Why are you looking for a quarterback who's unproven, who you don't know what's going to be in next year's draft? Arch Manning is not coming out of college. He's going to finish his college career. That's a Manning. He's not finished early. Oh, no, we don't do that. That's not going to happen. So now you got to skip a year. See, but what they should be doing is taking them 2 picks, getting you some offensive linemen, and going back in the second round with them other 2 picks and getting you some receivers. Because Shedeur makes everybody around him better. We all know that. Shedeur got all of his receivers in the NFL from last year. There's no other college quarterback that can say that. All 4 of the CU receivers are in the NFL. Green Bay, Baltimore, Carolina, and Jacksonville. All 4 of Shedeur's receivers are in the NFL. No other college quarterback can say that at all, period. New Orleans drafted Tyler Shuck. I know they sick right now, but you want to tell me it ain't no collusion? There's no way Tyler Shuck should have went before Shedeur. There's no way Dillon Gabriel should have went before Shedeur. Jalen Milroe either. And that's my man, 100 grand. I'm an Alabama boy. But there's no way Jalen Milroe should have went before Shedeur. How do we even let that happen? Jackson Dart will let you get away with that. But Tyler Shuck, oh no, that's a complete violation. That's the most disrespectful draft pick ever. Tyler Shuck is what, 26, 27 years old? Been in college for 8, 9 years. And just now getting drafted? A second round pick? Really? That's what we doing? Come on, dog. Tell me it's better. But anyway, man, we gonna get out of here. Let's see what we got. College quarterback is scared to death Cleveland was drafting. They definitely been watching. Yeah. Tyler Shuck just watched it come by pass on Google. If you watch that, you mad that Shedeur didn't get drafted before that. That right there is horrible. That is awful. That is awful right there. Tyler Shuck throwing the air. Gabriel ain't good enough for high school football. Oh, man. All right, we getting out of here on that. That is, y'all finna start roasting these people. And we gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all for coming in, having to sit down, joining the lunch table. Amber say Tyler Show looked a mess. He's scrambling out of bounds in 707. This is true. Tyler Shuck is horrible. But he got drafted in the second round. Ain't nothing we can do about that. But we getting out of here, man. Thank y'all for joining us. All the CUNTs in the chat. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all for staying up, having a good time with us on this lunch table. G. Bush is not coming in tomorrow with us on the stream, but I might have a little surprise for y'all. One of the homies might be stopping by. We ain't talking about no regular YouTube dude either. We're talking about one of them. But we'll see what it is. But anyway, man, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all for joining the lunch table. having a nice little lunch with us. We gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. We out of here. Peace.